Daniel sat slumped on the cold airport bench, clutching his daughter's tiny pink backpack as if it were the last piece of stability he had left. The terminal was nearly silent, lit only by the bluish glow of departure screens that kept announcing delay after delay. He looked like a man who had been fighting far too long, his coat too thin for the draft, his eyes heavy with sleepless nights, and his hands trembling from exhaustion. Little Lily slept with her head on his lap, her crumpled boarding pass still in her fist, unaware of how fragile their world had become. Daniel gently brushed her hair aside and whispered a promise he wasn't sure he could keep, telling her they'd be home soon, even though he no longer knew what home meant. All he had now was hope, small, tired, but still alive, and the determination to keep moving forward for her sake. Just a few seats away, the woman who seemed to be quietly scrolling through her phone was far from an ordinary traveler. Her calm posture, her steady breathing, even the casual way she adjusted her earbuds, all of it was part of an act she had perfected over years of undercover work. Her name wasn't really Rachel, but that was the identity she wore tonight as effortlessly as her plain jacket. While Daniel fought sleep beside his daughter, she was silently watching him, gathering every tiny detail, the way he held Lily protectively, the worn duffel bag at his feet, the exhaustion carved into his face. To anyone else, she looked like another passenger waiting out the long night, but inside her suitcase was surveillance gear, and on her phone was a secure feed updating her on his every move. She wasn't waiting for a flight. She was waiting for him. Rachel kept her distance, but the longer she observed Daniel, the more something inside her began to shift. The official report had painted him as a potential accomplice in a serious data breach, a man capable of smuggling out encrypted government intel. Yet nothing about the exhausted father in front of her fit that image. She watched the small, natural moments that no criminal could fake, the gentle way he tucked Lily's blanket around her, the worry lines that deepened whenever he checked the time, the quiet sighs of someone carrying far more emotional weight than any dangerous agenda. His hands were rough, his clothes worn, and his eyes carried a grief that felt too genuine to be part of some elaborate cover. Every instinct she relied on told her to stay alert, to trust the file, but her gut whispered something different. Doubt had officially entered the room. As the night dragged on, Rachel found herself watching Daniel less like a target and more like a human being caught in the wrong chapter of his life. She kept reminding herself of the message she'd received earlier, the one confirming he was carrying it, but every time she looked at him, something didn't add up. His shoulders sagged under a weight that had nothing to do with stolen data, and when Lily stirred in her sleep, he immediately pulled her close with a kind of instinctive tenderness no training manual could ever teach. Rachel's hand hovered over her phone more than once, ready to report movement, ready to follow the protocol drilled into her since day one. But each time, hesitation held her still. Her instincts, the ones that had saved her life on more than one assignment, were telling her the file was wrong. And for the first time, she found herself listening to her heart instead of her orders. The quiet of the terminal shattered in an instant when the alarm blared through the speakers, red lights flashing across the glass walls like warning signs of a storm finally breaking. Daniel jolted awake, clutching Lily as agents in tactical gear rushed toward them, shouting orders he couldn't even process. Panic washed over his face, the kind that comes from a man who has already lost too much. Rachel stepped forward before she could think, instinct pulling her between Daniel and the advancing agents. Her badge caught the harsh light as she ordered them to hold their fire, her voice shaking but firm. Confusion filled Daniel's eyes as they demanded he open his bag. With trembling hands, he unzipped it, revealing not a hard drive or anything remotely dangerous, just a worn photo album, medical bills, and Lily's colorful drawings. The truth hit everyone at once: they had the wrong man. As the agents slowly lowered their weapons, the chaos in the terminal dissolved into an heavy, uncomfortable silence. Daniel sank to his knees, pulling Lily close as if he could shield her from the nightmare that had just unfolded. Rachel felt a twisting guilt settle deep in her chest, because even though she hadn't ordered the raid, she had been a part of the machine that brought him to this breaking point. Her supervisor barked updates into his earpiece, confirming the mistake, but Rachel barely heard him. Her eyes stayed fixed on Daniel, on the pain in his expression, on the way he held his daughter like she was the only steady thing in his world. When she finally stepped closer, he looked up with a mixture of fear and gratitude, and she realized how close she had come to destroying an innocent family. He whispered, "You saved us," but the truth was simpler. In choosing her conscience over her orders, she had saved herself too.